Hello everyone, thanks for joining me this week on the hulls, and there's a lot of work going on at the moment. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to jump ahead 6 to 7 weeks right now because Janet and I a few months ago headed over to Western Australia and took a long awaited holiday. In fact, we thought the boat would be finished by then. It wasn't. After having around about 140 days straight without a day off, I was ready for a long break, and it was certainly brilliant to get away and experience some of our amazing country. So being able to jump forward so far means that you guys are going to be privy to probably about a month's delay in where I am at the build, and quite frankly there's been a lot going on in that time, and we are now 62 days away from our launch date, and I'm very excited about that. We've booked a truck and we're getting ready for launch, so that means all the systems are going in, all the woodwork's getting done, the anchor's now hanging on the boat. I've just put that on today. We're starting to get all of those systems in place ready for our ultimate launch. So thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, please share it out to your friends. We really appreciate the fact that you could like our video. It does make a massive difference to our coverage on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Let's get straight into it. Seriously spent all day just doing a little bit of trim, and a lot of that's actually come in up in this corner up in here. I've finished putting some square DAR, some dressed all round 1 centimetre square trim, just to finish up the woodwork in here, just to make sure that it's all done. This here is the top for the head, so it actually goes over on here, and what I've actually done is I've put a piece of square quad all the way along, but I've actually curved it to match the windowsill, and that's now glued on in place. Now there is a bit of overhang here, but that's actually quite okay because it actually sits under the lip over here, and that quadding will match this particular shape here, which is actually curved. And then this lid I don't intend to actually glue down. I intend to have it removable because there's a good little bit of storage in there, but there's also going to be a 12-volt fan here for the shower and some lights, and obviously I don't want to and I want access for the plumbing, which is down through the top of this, which is in fact this area here in the shower. So there's plenty going on in here. The other thing I did yesterday is actually glassed the remaining module to the boat itself, and also up in this corner up here. It's a bit hard to see with the light fading, so that'll be painted with fairing compound and then sanded down, and then I'll be able to come in here, and I'm actually going to do one spray job all the way through here to tidy this all up, and then we can get down to polishing. Lots of frames going in, lots of doors for the cupboards. There's been a little bit of clean up here with some laminate and obviously the door jambs. I've just spent the last 3 days, every time I get half an hour, I put another layer of flow coat on, and then I've just gone and polished this from 600, 800, 1000, 1200 grit, and it's not buffed yet. And I've got a perfect integration in the back wall here. I've got to tidy up here with a Stanley knife where it's actually bled onto my timber, but I haven't actually finished this yet. I intend to round those off a little bit. Over here behind the galley where it's integrating the back wall, it's actually joined, and I've left where the Raptor is, I've actually left a margin, an actual physical line there, but that's, once again, that's actually up to 1200 grit and now ready for a quick buff. There's a tiny little grey area there. Now down in the heads, this has been a little bit of a grind down in here because it's tight spaces, but I've actually got the complete roof lining now integrated. I've still got to polish this, so I'll be hitting this area here. You can see here there's still a little bit of flow coat, raised flow coat here. I've actually brushed it in here. I didn't want to spray it, but I wanted to get this totally finished. I certainly haven't installed this window because I wasn't sure whether I was going to put the spray in here or not, but this is totally integrated. I just need to buff this down. And up in here where I had this gap here, and I filled it and laminated it, 3 lots of flow coat, polish it down, sand it down, polish it down. Now I'm ready for wet sanding. I've still got to install these 2 roof linings here. They need to be, I think they need to be removable, but I'm not sure, so I've got to leave them for a while, and we can always function without them anyway. But the way there's this window is integrated into the outside of the boat. I'm very pleased with. This is actually the Raptor textured roller with flow coat, and that gave me a really beautiful finish. I really like it. I'm going to use it a lot more, and as you can see here, this is all pretty much ready to go now. It's just a matter of cleaning it up. Now, while I was down here, I started giving this a clean. I've got my little wood paint scraper that's blunt, and I started knocking off any bits of dirt and resin, and then I've given this a light clean with some methylated spirits, and it's now ready for buffing and polishing. Okay, with all of that complete, and you can see it actually looks beautiful. I mean, it's almost perfect. There's a couple of little spots that if I didn't tell you about, you probably wouldn't pick it up, but what I'm doing now is I'm just 1200 gritting the whole bathroom module with some wet and dry, and essentially that'll get me ready for buffing. This has already got a polished surface on. It's just very, very dirty, as you can see by the crap that's coming off the 1200. I'll do it twice. I'll do it once at 1200, and then I'll come back and do it again, just so I'm removing all of that dirt out and using a clean rag each time. You can see on this wall here, it's looking perfect, and it actually looks like it's brand new and straight out of the mould, and so does the integration of the roof line here. There's just a tiny little bit of brush stroke here I've got to deal with in a minute, but this here is just looking absolutely superb, and I'm very, very happy. That has come up so nice. All I've done all day is wet sand and polish this entire stair module, the outsides. I've done the walls, so I'm ready for polish down here. I've also completed the robe faces down here. They're actually just white fiberglass gel coat with about 4 layers of laminate on the back of them. And there's another one here. I've just made some fiberglass white gel coat cupboards rather than the wood laminate, because I think it actually blends in nicely, having the wood with the flow coat finish. And the great thing about that is you can just basically give it a polish and spray and wipe these cupboards quite simply and clean them up. So we're going for a really sort of a utility finish down here. Yeah, that access in there is for the electrics. I've started to clean up around here as well. So I've got a little bit of repairing to do, but not so much. And the other really important thing I've done in here is I've just spent a few hours in here cleaning out this head, getting rid of all the grot off the walls, the grot and crap that was on this walls, and it's all looking absolutely beautiful and nice and neat. Now I've got a few little repairs here. About 4 years ago I dropped the roof mould onto the actual panel here and smashed the gel coat here, so I'll be sorting that out. I have to make the Corian sink top here for this and finish the fairing on there, so I actually just put some gel coat on it, flow coat on it, fair it down, and then go to that. But the roof is now fully integrated, and I'm really happy with that. I'm trying to sort of clean up as I go now, because it's going to minimise the amount of cleaning on launch day. There's 2 inches of water in my cockpit, and I'm going to have to vacuum all that out. The problem with this cockpit is I haven't put in the scupper drains yet, because I'm still modifying, and you can see them sat there. I had them there, but they're not drilled through yet. But I think it's time I make the effort to drill those scupper drains out, because we're going to need a lot more than that when we're out on the ocean. The water laying around in here is ridiculous. My back sugar scoops are bone dry inside the hull extensions, totally bone dry. So that means my drains have worked, but I need some drains here. I'm really seriously going to need them. Alright, so that's successfully holed. The only thing is I now need to put in a secondary hole, which is this one here, only to the deck layer, so that it'll actually sit flush. So now that I've already burrowed this hole, I can now use a second hole saw. I can now use the original one and screw it in and use that to form the second hole, which will allow me to trim that It's actually a good trick, and the nice thing is because that's got a bit of a thread, it will actually initially guide this first one until I get it to bite, and that's just such a great feature of these types of hole saws. Right, and now I've got these holes drilled, it's very important that I don't just leave it and get complacent, because any water that washes in here while I'm on holidays, and that's at this time of year we get a lot of big storms through here and they blow in here, and then I can come in here and there'll be 2 inches of water. So I'm putting in these scupper drains primarily for this particular holiday, and then I'm going to put in another large one in the centre of this floor to try and catch even more water, because if I get a big wave up here, these are certainly not going to be adequate. More importantly, I've cored it out. And that is totally cored, so all of the foam has now been removed, and I've backed it with some masking tape underneath, and I'm going to pump it full of epoxy, and then I'll come back tomorrow and drill a hole through the centre of it to make sure that at least it's going to drain, but there's no water ever ingressing into the deck there. Now that is the deck and the hull joined together. It's about 60 millimeters thick. There is no void in between my hull and deck. And that's a nice thing because there's no weakness. This is all glued together, the whole deck and hull. If you remember when I went back to when the boys joined it, we actually joined it together and glued the thing together. So it's a totally sealed unit, and therefore there's no access underneath it or through it. Ross and Zach up the front. Yeah. Steve and Adrian out the back here. Yeah. Okay, so the mast area for you guys, the mast area is the outside of this. Now, Adrian, what have you done here, mate?
Oh, look at that.
Oh my God, that's like $800 worth of epoxy there.
He was talking about painting the picture. I reckon this is a Picasso.
Yeah, that's his pro heart. Yeah, it's his Robbo.
I get a bit emotional over there.
Oh, that's like a that's like a psychedelic dream up there. Wherever you can put it, Zach. Actually, over that side, along there. On that side, right near the masking tape, the bottom doesn't actually touch there. So the more glue I got there, the better. All right, we're ready to jack, guys. Right, no time for mucking around. Right. So I love the fact that my deck and hull is joined. There's no weakness and the whole back is structural, but now I'm going to pump this full of epoxy. And that is going to be brilliant because now there's no chance of any water ingressing in between the foam and the glass. Janet and I have made it to Western Australia. We've been planning this trip for some years, and to be honest, we thought the boat would be finished by now, but I suppose that just means we're going to get back together. But we've hired a camper, and we've basically got it for 4 weeks, so it's going to be a pretty long journey. We're going to see, hopefully, most of the west coast of Australia. We've already done the southern portion from Perth around to Albany. We didn't quite get to Esperance, but at least we're going to get a little bit further. To this time we're hoping to get up to Broome with a stop off in Ningaloo Reef with the family, with my brother Brett, my sisters Chrissy, Nisi and Gail, and their partners David and Jimmy. So should have a good time. What do you reckon?
I think it's fascinating.
Amazing, isn't it? Totally different again over here. Incredible. It's so odd. Good fun.
I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it.
What's going on, honey?
There's a lot of flies. And there's a video going around at the moment about Kurangini that Ross wants me to take off, but I don't want to do it.
She's a potty mouth Brit. Not Janet, but the girl who does it about the effing flies.
She's from the same area as me as well. So it's all about the effing flies, but I'm not going to do that.
There's a few effing flies here, I'll tell you. But I'm an Aussie and I'm braving them. I've eaten a few. I've already eaten a few. A couple of these things look very phallic, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. I had to give in. Couldn't bear it. Too many flies. I mean, the whole of West Australia is fly country, so you just buy these. They're like $4. If you come here, just buy one. Buy them on eBay. They got them in the shop down here for 14, but there's no way I'm giving into that. You just got to have them over here. Well, that's the end of another pretty cruisy day. It was a 4K walk, which was nothing, and then we had lobsters for lunch, and now we're sitting here watching the sun go down over the west. Jed's got the cheese and crackers. We're set. You happy, Dylan? You happy? Good. You deserve it. If you're going to break down, don't break down here. We are seriously in the middle of the West Australian bum, and the flies are horrendous. So the flies are the first problem. The diesel injectors on that are basically. So we're stuck about 5 hours north of Perth. Geraldton is about 150 k's north, and hopefully they got a big tow truck to tow this bastard back and give us a lift. And I don't think I can cope with the flies. I'm going back inside where it's only 45 degrees. Leah down at Let's Go is going to try and help us. God knows what she's going to do. But anyway, yeah, Steve, this is all your fault. Our friend Steve hired this thing about 12 months ago, and he told me it was a piece of shit, and I think he wrecked it. So it's all your fault, mate. I'm going to get you for this. Still here, waiting. The problem with a camper van is you've got to pack up all your shit, including your food.
Waiting and ranting.
Oh, I'm ranting a bit. I'm losing my shit. We're only 20 k's from a town either side, but there appears that there's no tow trucks. And
We don't know that.
no, we don't know that yet, but whoever shows up is going to hopefully help us get to a town where we get at least, I don't know, wait for another camper van to arrive, because this one's not going anywhere. The injectors and this is stuffed. Would not be surprised if it was diesel bug or something, but I'm not driving this thing anywhere, and I'm certainly not driving it 8,000 kilometres further on, which is what the plan was. So we only just got unpacked, didn't we, honey?
Russ is just goes calm, then he goes up,
I'm totally calm.
then he comes down.
I'm just losing my shit because I hate inefficiencies. We went to a place this morning and ordered an almond coffee, almond cappuccino. Now, some would say that's pretty trendy, but in a place like this, don't do it. It looked like oil on water. It was all emulsified, so that was the beginning of the day's experience. Started off nice, coffee on the beach, but then this coffee we actually walked off and left it after he bought us a second coffee, which was actually worse. And then 20 minutes later, we're broken down in the middle of nowhere. So we're just got to wait, and we're going to pack our bags, and hopefully in I don't know, a couple of days, someone might come and save us with another van.
On this video, when you put it on your video, you need a big arrow that points to your head going, old man, old man, old man. Like
Wow, this is what life's all about, guys. Probably get used to it if we're going to live on a boat. The joys of travelling up in flies. Can you believe the flies? Janet just had a panic because the truck just lifted off. Classic. Even the towie is freaking out about the flies. And he goes, God, there's bees here as well. I said, oh, mate, this place is just bullshit, the flies. But I don't mind them because this is the best $4 you'll ever spend in your life out here. Anyway, off to Jurien Bay for the night. They're going to send us another truck in the morning, another van on its way in the morning on another tow truck, and they're going to tow this one back to Perth and burn it. At 7 a.m. the next day, they've sent us a replacement vehicle. Oh my God, they sent us a big one. And I'm just walking up to the towie now to get it off the truck and swap the vehicles. And I've got the Dunny cartridge, yuck. Just had to empty it. What do you reckon? It's been a bit of a hectic couple of days. That is a big RV for us, so we've got to get under trees and things, so we're going to be very, very careful with this thing because it's brand new. I think Jane's a bit happy.
a bit nervous.
We've got to thank our friend Leah at Let's Go Campers. Actually, this is not Let's Go by the look of it. I know. Cool. What a machine. I'll show you inside a bit later on. Goodbye, old friend. Went into limp mode and wasn't going anywhere fast without getting trashed. Let's give it another try, Jen. Yeah. Let's Go campers were superb. We're very impressed with their service. Overnight they've swapped us out with this thing. This is just a cut above. This is our top of the line, so we're pretty happy with that because we certainly didn't pay for it, and that has been just brilliant service. And they put us up in a cabin in the local caravan park here, which was just nice to have a stretch out for a night, even though we'd only had 2 nights. But you happy?
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah, I am happy.
Cool.
Yes, I'm happy.
Righto, let's get on the road again, out into the wilderness again, and hopefully have a better trip this time. So we are at Kalbarri National Park and we're up on this skywalk thing, which is, yeah, pretty good. It's not the Grand Canyon, but it's pretty impressive. It's Australia's Grand Canyon, I guess you'd call it. Absolutely stunning. It's a 700 kilometre long river which takes in all of the western outback rivers and runs all the way out to sea at Kalbarri, which is where we're going to be staying tonight, which is a town about halfway up the West Australian coast. Pretty stunning, eh? Beautiful. Look at this skywalk. There's another one over here. This one we're standing on is actually bouncing. And the riverbed is bone dry, so you can't imagine how much water would have to flow through the outback to get down to here as a river. Kalbarri Nature Reserve, or Kalbarri National Park, and just absolutely incredible joint. They've got our rig here. This rig's been just beautiful. Landscape's just mind-blowing. It's definitely totally opposite to what we have on the east coast of Australia, which is very green and wet. This is bone dry, but clearly they get a lot of rain here during the wet season, and all the water's running down through this gorge, and you can see how the sandstone's all cut away. And yeah, just over millions of years it's formed this amazing gorge, and we're about to do a bit of a walk. Absolutely magnificent.
So I reckon that's where you get to, maybe.
Yeah.
Morning everyone. We're back in the national park and we're going to do the loop, which we didn't have time to do on the other day. So now we've got a 2.5, 3 hour walk that we're trying to get ahead of the heat with, and we haven't managed that. We're a bit later than we planned.
It's about 35 already.
Oh, I don't think it's that hot.
No, it's about 20
and
28.
it's still cool enough that the flies haven't gone nuts, but they'll come soon.
So we're going to walk down here and along this ridge and around and back around. It's a big 9k loop, so it should be a good one. Now it's pretty warm and the flies haven't started yet, so we're pretty happy about that. Got to earn your beer here in Oz in the heat. So we won't be having a beer for about 4 or 5 hours, but it's been amazing, hasn't it? Well, we started right up over there, so we've just got about 3 litres of water on us, or 4 litres I think we've got. Plenty of water. And the meshes are back on because the flies are annoying us. Beautiful. We're the only ones out here, aren't we? There's a couple of people just walk past, but they're not doing the full loop. We've just been brave, aren't we, Dylan? Ah, no. Oh, look at this. Oh my God, this place is just incredible.
Absolutely.
How good is this bit here? Wow. That's just crazy. The colours. All the iron oxide in it. And the river's dry. Just look at the debris 50 feet up from the bottom of the riverbed. You can't imagine water running through here ever, but you know, for a 700 kilometre long river, you can imagine when it rains it's going to come through here like a torrent. And obviously it does with the surrounding erosion on this riverbed. Look, I mean, Janet's 50 foot below me, and look at the debris up here. I mean, this would have been from last year. They had some significant rains that basically flooded a third of Australia. And we've had a lot of rain, but nothing like they get over here in the wet season. But this is just unbelievable. These trees have just been ripped out.
Pretty good. happy.
Janet loves it. It's always a bloody walking holiday with Janet.
You told us you wanted to come back for this one.
Just once, I'd like to go on a paddling holiday. Well, we are. We're doing that next Sunday. We're meeting our family up in Ningaloo for another week of kayaking, which is good because then I can sit on my ass and paddle and not have to walk. But I do love the walks. I mean, as much as I complain about them, they're pretty cool. So we're here in the Murchison River and we've met, what is it? The Aussie Bush Chook.
The bush chook, crazy chicken.
YouTube channel. Check it out. Check it out today. And subscribe to that because this lady is living on a boat. What is it? 60 foot, 60 foot boat in Bahrain, a wooden one. And she said, fuck, there's a lot of maintenance on it. And that's exactly her words, not mine.
Absolutely, mate. Never do it unless you want to work your butt off.
Oh, yeah. But the maintenance, the diesel mechanic, the fiberglass, and the woodworker, you are it. What's your name?
That's it. My name's Robin, mate.
Robin. Check it out. What is it? The Crazy Bush Chook. Look it up.
Crazy chicken official on Instagram, but it'll be the bush chook.
Brilliant. Get into it now, guys.
Muchas.
Brand new, it still rattles like a banshee, doesn't it? I mean, this is what I was paranoid about with our boat. All these wooden cupboards are going bang, 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 bang. We're going to have to try to make sure we get no vibration in our boat. Check out this big fella. Hello, mate. What's happening? Hey. Like, I mean, you drive about 18 hours north of Perth to where all the tourists come to. You'd expect to have the beach to yourself, wouldn't you? And two people just walked along the beach. I went, oh, come on, give me my beach back. So here I am in Coral Bay with exactly that. This is my beach. So if you want to come up here, get off it because it's Janet and mine. That's it. Wherever we go, we find a beach and it's ours, okay? So you're not welcome, so sod off.